Hello and welcome back to the Henry Kravitz YouTube channel, and welcome to a very late edition of the Blue Flag podcast. I apologise for that. I've had tech issues since the British Grand Prix, and it's a Brazilian there, and I've not been able to get the files that I needed to OBS to record this. Lucky enough, I managed to re-download them. Hence, I'm recording this on Saturday, the 27th of July, which is the same day as the Belgium Grand Prix qualifying. So we'll get that back into that a little bit. But firstly, I just want to talk about the British Grand Prix. I quite enjoyed the British Grand Prix. The 4 seasons in one race, the rain, the heavy rain, the dry, made it a good race. I give it a 7 out of 10. I think it was a good race. Obviously, you had the Mercedes and the McLarens fighting each other, and obviously at the end as well, you had Max in there, which was interesting to see. So obviously, I think Piastri could have won it because I think McLaren messed up his strategy slightly, and Norris could have won it if they'd gone on to mediums, not the softs, and. On another day, if Max got past Norris sooner, he may have even caught Lewis up. So it would have been interesting to see, in a different universe, how that would have played out differently. But yes, I think it was a great race. But it just showed you the gap between those teams, and then say a Nico Hulkenberg, who was best of the rest. Like, he does such an amazing job. He's done such an amazing job recently. I always rate him. People give him that stigma, or you haven't got a podium yet, but he is so good at developing cars and setting up for a race, and he's got all these good things in the wet and dry conditions. He is a good driver, and he's a benefit to Audi, so that'll be interesting. Logan Sargent had a very good race as well, which, off the back of the fact that he was, potentially going to lose his job, was a good thing to see. Which was really good to see. I don't know whether it's too late. I did see something on X during the week that says that him and Vowles don't really talk to each other anymore. Now, I don't know how true that is. Couldn't tell you. I mean, he finished P11th. He finished about 9 seconds behind Yuki Tsunoda in P10. Excuse me, he finished just over a second in front of Kevin Magnussen, about 1.2 seconds ahead of Magnussen. Obviously, Leclerc, Ocon, Perez, and Zhu all went on to the wrong strategy because it's pretty too early for the wet tyres, which messed them up. George Russell had a water leak, I believe, and Gasly didn't start, but weirdly on the graphic had him down as the fastest lap, which was quite interesting. So yeah, my score out of 10 for the British Grand Prix is 7. In the comments below, please give me your score and what was your highlight of the race. For me, my driver of the day, Hulkenberg. I don't think really anybody was bad, maybe Zhu, but then I'm like, do you know what? None of the drivers were bad. Some drivers got caught with bad strategy. So in fact, I'm going to have 2 drivers of the day, so I'm going to go with Sargent and I'm going to go with Hulkenberg. Let me know in the comments who your driver of the day was, and what was your highlight kind of thing, if that makes sense. So then, obviously, while we've been off, obviously since that race, then bits have been sort of coming out, and obviously it gets Alpine announced they're going to have a new livery for the weekend on Wednesday or Thursday, which is to do with Wolverine and Deadpool, and it's red and black. I quite like the colours. I quite like it. I mean, if they launch that on some merch, I'm buying it, by the way. So yeah, then there was at the same time an ex-legal representative Alpine slagging off, basically calling them out because they're meant to be going to Mercedes engine in 2026. Now, I don't think that's been confirmed yet, but I don't think it'll be too far off, and that makes sense because, really, let's be fair, Renault really don't, really just, they're just under. They say they're going to come in and they want to win races and they've got a 5-year plan and they don't. They just don't do it. They just they underfund it. They underfund it. They don't get the right people in for the to help develop the car. You know, the to develop the engine and stuff like that. They just don't. And it's the same with the team. You know, you had obviously they obviously had that Rossi guy who absolutely just destroyed the team, and then you've got Laurent Di Maio, I think his name is, and he's just making obviously cutbacks even more. So that'd be interesting. There's a bit from Ocon on Sky Sports F1 saying we haven't been listened to the way we should have as drivers, and that's why it's leaving.
Good in terms of performance, we haven't been listened the way we should have been.
But sorry, that's a bit of, I'm gonna have to credit Sky Sports for that. But I don't know whether he's a number one though. You know what I mean? Another thing I saw, by the way, is I saw Fernando Alonso being called up for not being able to develop a car. Now, I don't know about that, to be honest. You need the right people around you, so I'm not really going to say too much. So, yeah, so we had that, obviously, that guy calling out Alpine. Then we had the news that Ocon is going to Haas from 2025, which was a well-known the world to a secret, to be honest. Good luck to him, because I think he's, as a person, he's great. He's a fast driver. You know, sometimes he clashes with his teammate. It's not his fault, and sometimes, it really is his fault. And hopefully he can. I don't know if he puts pressure on himself too much because of his upbringing. Because he didn't. His family gave up a lot of things for him. Whether he feels a pressure on him that he needs to succeed. But I know he doesn't feel like he has succeeded, but he has really succeeded. He's got a win at Hungary. The fact that he's made it to F1, a lot of drivers don't make it to F1, and he is a fast driver. So, good luck to him. He's got Beerman alongside him. Hopefully, they don't. There's no clashes, because if there is clashes, that's going to be a bit of a ball ache, because he'll get blamed straight away, even if it's not his fault. But good luck to him. And then between FP1 and FP2, Alpine said that Famin has been let go from. He's going to do other things within the Alpine, within the Renault thing. So I'm just wondering if he's going to be doing anything else, any other technical side of things for the hypercars and stuff like that. But we'll have to wait and see. It'll be interesting to see who they get in now. Along, who they're going to get in there. Obviously, Seidl was also recently let go by Audi, and he was replaced by Binotto. Now, either that is because the engine isn't where they want it to be, or it's got to be where the engine is, because they've not really. Sauber are just sort of going round. I mean, they brought 9 upgrades to. Was it this last weekend? British Grand Prix? They brought 9 upgrades, and yeah, they were quite quick, but just haven't really. They haven't really. If I was Audi, surely you'd want to be putting money into the infrastructure, getting the foundation there, and the people you need. So is Seidl going to go across to Alpine? Is Flavia going to take over? Are they going to find somebody from somewhere else? Who knows? I don't know. what their plan is. Obviously, they've let a lot of people with experience go. Matt Harmon, like I said in the previous podcast, he hasn't really developed a quick car. If you look at this year's car, it was the slowest on the grid. So, and they've still got obviously big upgrades if they're going to do that to try and catch up. I don't know if they are. So that's going to be interesting. Then there is a picture on X of Carlos Sainz Sr. leaving the Williams garage. So has his son given the green light to go there? I know they were talking to Bottas again, so that would be interesting. There was a report on X that Audi and Williams, I believe, have asked Alpine for the data from the test they got Mick Schumacher to do alongside Jack Doohan. Obviously, he was quicker than Jack Doohan. So, I mean, if Carlos Sainz goes there, do Audi take Mick Schumacher? I'd like to see Mick in the seat. I think, don't think he really got a fair share. That car wasn't really great to drive at Haas, but I think he's a good driver in there, so be interesting to see. And then where does that leave Alpine? Do they go down for a Bottas, or do they go for Jack Doohan? Time will tell. We'll probably find out during the summer break, but it will be interesting. So obviously, then we had FP1 where Max was quickest. But he's also taken a 10th place grid penalty because he got a new ICU and other bits. In FP2 it was Lando from Oscar, which is quite interesting. Obviously FP2 is more about your race pace, making sure you've got some really good race pace. And then it was going to be raining for FP3, which it did and qualified, but the race was going to be dry. So where did teams go? In FP3, there was a red flag, and then they didn't restart the session. But Stroll crashed out. And I didn't see who finished top 2, but I do know that Alpine finished P3 and P5 in that session, which isn't really a lot because not a lot of people, like I say, took part. So it will be interesting. Obviously in the UK it's around about 4 o'clock qualifying, so it'd be interesting to see what happens there. I would suspect that Alpine will probably get into Q2, but we will see what happens there. I don't know. I think it will be. It's setting up to be a 1-2 for McLaren again. Hopefully they could. They've got to get it right. I know Lando's come out and said that what he did was wrong, and it puts a stain on Oscar's win. Oscar had done enough to win that race. He had enough pace in the first 2/3 of the race to do that. Just at the end, Lando showed. I don't know if he showed his true pace or whether the car just came to him at the end there. But yeah, I'm sure they've all spoke about it and cleared the air. I know Oscar said he went for McDonald's after he won, so that's quite interesting. So this video will go up before qualifying. So in the comments below, give me your top 3 or top 5 for qualifying, and give me your top 3 for the race tomorrow. I will credit in the Sky Sports interview with Ocon, as you heard it in here. So that's the only way. It's the right thing to do, is to give credit to Sky Sports News because it's their video. So I'm going to give them credit. I'm going to link it in the description as well, so you can go and find it there. But yeah, guys, have a great weekend. Have a great Saturday doing whatever you're doing. I've got some washing on right now, so the domestic life and all that. But yeah, have a good one, guys. Thank you. Bye.